Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. In this video, we'll solve a few problems on radar graphs in the topic data interpretation. Since questions based on this topic are most frequently asked in many competitive exams, it makes sense to understand and practice as many questions as possible. These questions are the ones where marks can be scored easily if practiced well. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications as soon as we post a new video. So let's start. Study the following information carefully and answer the questions given. The given radar graph shows the percentage distribution of number of boys in 6 different courses. So this is a radar graph. Now let's understand how to interpret the data given in this radar graph. So this radar graph shows the percentage distribution of the number of boys in 6 different courses like BSc, MSc, MBA and so on. Now this radar graph has a zero center point, and from this center point axes protrude out from the center point. Here each axis represents a course. So this axis represents BSc course. This axis represents MSc course. This axis represents MBA course and so on. Also, from the zero center, the data values increase as you move away from the center. So if the center point is 0%, then it's given that the next point is 10%, the next point is 20%, the next point is 30%, and so on till 70%. Now, in this radar graph, this point indicates the percentage of boys in BSc course. This point indicates the value of the percentage of boys in MSc course. This point indicates the percentage of boys in MBA course. Now, and so on. Now, all these points are joined through a blue straight line. Now, take this point for example. Now, this point corresponds with 55 on the radar graph. This means 55% of the students in BSc course are boys. Now, this point corresponds with 60 on the radar graph. This means 60% of the students in MSc course is boys. This point corresponds with 40 on the radar graph. This means that 40% of the students in MBA course is boys and so on for the other courses. Now you have to use this data to answer the given questions. But instead of searching repeatedly for data in this radar graph to solve the given questions, you can do a common interpretation of the data given in this radar graph. Then you can use the information in the common interpretation found in the common interpretation to solve the given questions. This makes answering the questions easier, and also it will save a lot of time for you. So let's understand how to do a common interpretation of the data given in this radar graph. Now, according to this radar graph, the percentage of boys in BSc course is given by this point, which corresponds with 55 on the radar graph. So in BSc course, percentage of boys is 55%. Similarly, in MSc course, this point corresponds with 60 on the radar graph, which means that percentage of boys in MSc is 60%. This point corresponds with 40 on the radar graph, which means the percentage of boys in MBA is 40%. This point corresponds with 45% on the radar graph, which means uh, percentage of boys in MBBS is 45%. This point corresponds with 70 on the radar graph, which means that percentage of boys in BBA is 70%. This point corresponds with 50 on the radar graph, which means the percentage of boys in BE is 50%. Now, based on this information, we can find the percentage of girls in the different courses. So, if percentage of boys in BSc course is 55%, it means that percentage of girls in BSc course is 45%. Similarly, if percentage of boys in MSc course is 60%, it means percentage of girls in MSc course is 40%. Similarly, you can find the percentage of girls for the different courses. Now, use this information from the common interpretation to solve the given questions. Based on this information from the common interpretation of the data from the given radar graph, let's answer the given question. If the number of girls in MBA and MBBS is 180 and 330 respectively, then what is the 50% of the difference between the total number of students in MBA and MBBS? You're given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now it's given that the number of girls in MBA is 180. From this information, from common interpretation, we know that the percentage of girls in MBA course is 60%. This means if there are 60 girls in MBA course, then the total number of students in MBA course is 100. So if there are 180 girls in MBA course, then the total number of students in MBA is equal to 180 multiplied by 100 divided by 60, which is 300. Similarly, it's given that the number of girls in MBBS is 330. From this common interpretation information, we know that the number of girls in MBBS courses, percentage of girls in MBBS courses 55%. This means if there are 55 girls in MBBS course, then the total number of students in MBBS course is 100. So if there are 330 girls in MBBS course, then the total number of students in MBBS is equal to 330 multiplied by 100 divided by 55, which is 600. Now we have to find out 50% of the difference between these two. So the required answer is 50 divided by 100 multiplied by 600 minus 300. On solving this, we get 150. So the difference between the total 50% of the difference between the total number of students in MBA and MBBS is 150. So the correct answer is option C, 150. Based on the information from this common interpretation of the data from the given radar graph, let's answer the given question. If the total number of girls in BBA and MSc is 370 and the total number of boys in BBA and MSc is 730, then what is the difference between the total number of students in BBA and MSc? Here you are given 4 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So here you are asked to find the difference between the total number of students in BBA and MSc. So let's assume that the total number of students in BBA is B and total number of students in MSc is M. From the information in this common interpretation, we know that the number of the percentage of girls in BBA is 30% and percentage of girls in MSc is 40%. Now it's given that the total number of girls in BBA and MSc is 370. So 30% of B plus 40% of M is equal to 370. On simplification of this equation, we get 3B plus 4M is equal to 3700. Now it's given that the total number of boys in BBA and MSc is 730. From this information in common interpretation, we know that the percentage of boys in BBA is 70% and percentage of boys in MSc is 60%. So 70% of B plus 60% of M is equal to 730. On simplification of this equation, we get 7B plus 6M, which is equal to 7300. Now this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now the LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. So supposing we multiply equation 1 with 3 and equation 2 with 2, we get 12m here and 12m here, and if we subtract equation 2 and 1, we can cancel out the m's. Then easily we can find the value of B. So equation 2 multiplied by 2 minus equation 1 multiplied by 3 will give us 14B minus 9B, which is equal to 14,600 minus 11,100. On simplification, we get B is equal to 700. Now let's substitute the value of B in equation 1 to find out the value of M. So from equation 1 we get 4M is equal to 3700 minus 2100. On simplification we get M is equal to 400. So the total number of students in BBA is 700 and the total number of students in MSc is 400. So the required difference between the total number of students in BBA and MSc is 700 minus 400, which is 300. So the correct answer is option C, 300. Based on the information in this common interpretation of the data of the given radar graph, let's answer the given question. If the number of girls in BE is equal to the number of girls in MBA and 80% of the number of girls in BE is 360, then what is the difference between number of boys in BE and MBA? You're given 4 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now it's given that 80% of the number of girls in BE is 360. This means that if there are 80 girls, then the total number of girls in BE is 100. So if there are 360 girls, then the total number of girls in BE is 360 multiplied by 100 divided by 80, which is 450. So number of girls in BE is 450. It's given that the number of girls in BE is equal to the number of girls in MBA. So since the number of girls in BE is 450, number of girls in MBA is also 450. Now from this information in the common interpretation, we know that in BE 50% students is girls and the rest 50% is boys. Since number of girls in BE is 450, number of boys in BE is also 450. Now from this information in the common interpretation, we know that uh, the percentage of girls in MBA is 60% and percentage of boys in MBA is 40%. We know that the number of girls in MBA is 450. This means that 60% is equal to 450. So 40% will be equal to 450 multiplied by 40 divided by 60, which is 300. So the number of boys in MBA is 300. So now we have found out that the number of boys in BE is 450 and number of boys in MBA is 300. Here we are asked to find the difference between the number of boys in BE and MBA. So the required difference is 450 minus 300, which is 150. So the correct answer is option B, 150. Based on the information from this common interpretation of the data of the given radar graph, let's answer the given question. If the total number of students in BSc is 780, then what is the difference between the number of girls and boys in BSc? You're given four options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now, from the information in this common interpretation, we know that the percentage of boys in BSc is 55% and percentage of girls in BSc is 45%. So, the difference between the percentage of boys and girls in BSc is 55 minus 45%. It's given that the total number of students in BSc is 780. So the required difference is equal to 55 minus 45 divided by 100 multiplied by 780, which is nothing but 78. So the difference between the number of girls and boys in BSc is 78. The correct answer is option A, 78. Based on this information from the common interpretation of the data from the given radar graph, let's answer the given question. If the total number of students in BE and BSc is 1200 and 900 respectively, then what is the ratio of the number of girls in BE to BSc? You are given four options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now, from the common interpretation, we know that out of the total number of students, percentage of girls in BE is 50% and percentage of girls in BSc is 45%. Now it's given that the total number of students in BE is 1200. So number of girls in BE is 50% of 1200, which is 600. Now it's given that the total number of students in BSc is 900. So number of girls in BSc is 45% of 900, which is 405. Now we are asked to find the ratio of the number of girls in BE to BSc. So the required ratio is 600 is to 405, which on simplification gives us the ratio 40 is to 27. So the correct answer is option A, 40 is to 27. Viewers, please go through this video till you have understood the concept. Practice more such problems to increase your speed and also to understand the concept clearly. Also do watch our videos on ratio, average, percentage, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, etc. for a thorough understanding of the topics, which will make it easier for you to solve data interpretation problems. Please do watch a video on caselets for solved problems. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you.